Hi everyone, my name is Sacha Altai and I will present a paper with Nicolas Clédière and Hugo Mercier called It Happened to a Friend of a Friend, Inaccurate Source Reporting in Rumor Diffusion, recently published in Evolutionary Human Sciences. False rumors are often attributed to a friend of a friend. More specifically, rumors are often attributed to a credible friend of a friend, since the initial friend has a privileged access to information, such as being an eyewitness. This is the case even in today's digital environment. I will read you this tweet reporting a false rumor attributed to a credible friend of a friend. A friend of my sister had her 5-year-old daughter disappear at the gas station. She started looking for her desperately everywhere and eventually looked in the bathroom and found her with a Roma woman shaving her head so she wouldn't have recognized her while taking her away. So why is this sourcing so common among false rumors? To empirically study the origin of the infamous friend of a friend, we created rumors about a bear escaping from a zoo, a serial killer, an E. coli infection, and water contamination. The sourcing of these rumors varied from a friend of a friend, or a friend of a friend of a friend. Some rumors had a credible source, such as my father, who is working at the zoo, told me, so it's a credible friend who told me. A credible friend of a friend, such as a friend whose father is working at the zoo, told me, and a credible friend of a friend of a friend, such as a friend of a friend whose father is working at the zoo, told me. I think you get it. Each participant was told to imagine that while doing the groceries, they ran into a childhood friend who told them the rumor, such as, my father, who is working at the zoo, told me that a bear escaped. Then they were told, once you get home, you decide to warn your best friend. You call them and tell them. So this was the memory transmission task. In total, across 4 online experiments, we recruited more than 1,800 participants. We looked at how participants reported the source of the rumors with a credible source. We find that after one episode of transmission, a credible friend turned into a credible friend of a friend, which is normal. It's what you're supposed to do when accurately reporting the source of the rumor. But then, participants did not report the rumor as coming from a credible friend of a friend of a friend. Instead, a credible friend of a friend stayed the same despite multiple episodes of transmission. At the individual level, each participant shortened the distance, separating them from the initial source by only one link, but at the collective level, after numerous episodes of transmission, this shortening leads to a big inflation of the real distance separating the sender from the initial source of the rumor. We find a different pattern when no credible source was mentioned. Rumors coming from a friend were not shared as coming from a friend of a friend. Instead, when participants were told that a rumor comes, for example, from a friend of a friend, they reported the rumor as coming from a friend and kept reporting it as coming from a friend, which again, at the collective level, leads to a big inflation of the actual distance separating the sender from the initial source of the rumor. So participants engage in what we call source shortening. When a credible source was mentioned, the sources converge toward a credible friend of a friend. I'm going to show you the actual data from the transmission chain experiments. So on the y-axis is the number of links received, and here is the number of links reported. For example, you see here that rumors coming from a credible friend, one link, are reported as coming from a credible friend of a friend most of the time, which is what participants are supposed to do. You see that, for example, one participant reported it as coming from a credible friend of a friend of a friend. But rumors coming from a credible friend of a friend were rarely reported as coming from a credible friend of a friend of a friend, in bold here. Instead, participants shortened by one link the source of the rumor and reported it as a credible friend of a friend. And you see here source shortening again. This time, the source shortening is of 1 and 2 links. So in blue is the credible friend of a friend pattern. We modeled next the transformation that occurred during source transmission with an evolutionary causal matrix. So the goal was to see what would happen if thousands of people shared the rumor over multiple generations. Basically, we simulated the evolution of the sources of the rumors based on the transformation rates that we observe in this table here. So on the x-axis is the number of generation, that is the number of episodes of transmission that we simulated. On the y-axis is the proportion of rumor with a specific source. In red, it's the rumor attributed to a credible friend, here a credible friend of a friend, and here credible friend of a friend of a friend. The model assumes linear transmission. One participant passes the rumors to a single other participant who only receives one rumor. We see that at equilibrium, after just a few episodes of transmission, the credible friend of a friend largely dominates over the two other alternatives. So this is our first finding. Next, we found that when no credible source was mentioned, the source shortening was drastic. That is, the source converged toward a friend. I'm going to show you the data again, so let's have a look at the other half of the table. This time it is rumors transmitted with no credible source. We see that rumors received as coming from a friend with one link were reported as also coming from a friend, not as coming from a friend of a friend in bold, as they should have, if they reported accurately the source. And interestingly, both rumors received with 2 or 3 links were primarily reported as coming from a friend. So in bold is what participants were supposed to do if they accurately reported the source of the rumor. But we see here that the source shortening is drastic. So we replicated this pattern of source shortening with a larger number of rumors and a larger number of participants. You see that again, when no credible source is mentioned, participants largely report the rumor as coming from a friend. And that when a credible source is mentioned, participants primarily report the rumor as coming from a credible friend of a friend. So in both cases, you see source shortening. In this case, the shortening is drastic. In this case, it is less drastic. What you also see in this table is that the credible sources were more likely to be lost than invented during transmission. You see here that very few, if any, participants made up a credible source when they received the rumor with no credible source, but that many participants omitted to mention the credible source of the rumor when they received a rumor with a credible source. Again, we extrapolated from our experimental data to measure the long-term effect of this transformation during transmission. But this time, we modeled not only rumors with a credible source, but also rumors with no credible source. So we took into account the fact that sometimes participants do not report the credible source. And for instance, share rumors coming from a credible friend of a friend as coming from a friend. So the x-axis represents the number of generation, so the number of time it has been transmitted, and the y-axis represents the proportion of rumors with a specific source. The red line represents source coming from 1 link, 2 link, 3 link. The dotted lines, non-credible source. The full lines, the rumors with a credible source. We see that at equilibrium, rumors attributed to a friend largely dominate this time, even compared to rumors attributed to a credible friend of a friend. And this is pretty intuitive because the credible friends are more easily lost in transmission than invented in transmission. So participants more often forget to mention the credible friend than they invent a credible source. So in this linear model, when one participant omits to mention the credible source once, the whole transmission chain is likely to remain deprived of a credible source. And in these transmission chains with no credible friends, it quickly converged toward a friend, as we see here in red. But then why is it that rumors with a credible friend of a friend seem to be so prevalent in the ethnographic record? Maybe there is something wrong with our models. Indeed, we speculate that the dominance of the friend could be a methodological artifact of the linear transmission chain. So, in linear transmission chain, a small loss at time 2 can hardly be recovered at time 3, or anytime soon, or anytime later in the chain. But in the real world, that's not how transmission happens. In the real world, redundancy, that is, hearing something, and in our case the rumors, from not just one, but 2 or 3 persons could allow, actually, transmission chain to recover from these losses. So what we did is a basic model to see what would happen if redundancy was introduced in the transmission chain. That is what would happen if each participant does not only receive one rumor, but 2 or 3. Would they specifically select the one coming from a credible friend of a friend? And we see that based on the transmission rates observed in our experiments, that is the red lines, if participants receive 3 rumors here, instead of 1, it would allow rumors with a credible friend of a friend to prosper. But the argument we want to make is more general here, is that we should be careful when interpreting the result of linear transmission chain as they likely give too much weight to losses occurring during transmission. Finally, what are the consequences of this source shortening that we documented? First, source shortening increased participants' reported willingness to share the rumors. We found in online experiments that participants were more likely to share rumors with a low number of links, that is, with fewest middlemen. And importantly, we found that source shortening boosted rumors' perceived plausibility, that is, the shorter distance between the sender and the initial source of the rumor, the more plausible the rumor appeared to be, which is pretty intuitive again. The fewest middlemen, the more reliable it is. And if participants were not engaging in source shortening, rumors would become utterly implausible after just a few episodes of transmission. Like, a friend of a friend would become a friend of a friend of a friend, and then a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. No one would believe such rumor. It is thus likely that source shortening is a key feature contributing to rumors propagation. Thank you for your attention, and if you are interested in the paper more, you can find it with the QR code here, or just Google the title. It's open access. I hope you enjoyed it.